G'day legends, it's Mark here from North Oz, and thank you for joining me in today's video where we're going to be installing the final pieces of what I consider to be the perfect interior of my 79 Series Landcruiser. And guys, the more I'm using this and the more I'm modifying this new Landcruiser, the more I am falling in love with it. It is everything I'd hoped it would be and so much more. So let me show you now what I have planned for today's video. Let's get stuck into it. It's going to be a good one. I've got a few pretty interesting interior items to share with you guys today, but before we go any further, it is the Christmas and New Year's break, and I haven't had the opportunity yet to say that I hope that you guys are well, and I hope that you got to spend a bit of time with your family and friends. And I also really just wanted to recognize as well the support that you have shown for me, the channel, and all the crazy endeavors that I've undertaken here. The channel this year with all the patrol build and the Cape York episode that we put out, and all these different wild activities that I share with you guys. I really do enjoy sharing my passion with you, and it's been so great that you guys have supported me, following along, and your comments always make my day. I reply to all the comments, and that's because I just love conversing with you guys. So I just want to say thank you for all your support over the year, but also we've had people following the channel for a few years now. So it's a great community. I'm loving sharing my passion with you guys, even if it's something as simple as sharing with you guys a couple of little interior pieces that I'm chucking in the new Landcruiser, and even going and taking you guys with me and documenting my big trips, which I love that I get to share that with you guys, and also have that as a memory now to look back on all the time. So I hope that you guys had a lovely break, and let's get back to the 79 build content, and I'm really looking forward to 2024. We got a lot of stuff going on, guys. We got the 79 Series Landcruiser, and we might have a project build in the works as well. I've just finished clearing out a nice space in our garage here, so you guys can have a few guesses as to what I might be getting in 2024. I think it might stump a few of you guys. If you haven't seen some of the polls as well, check out the community tab on the channel as well. There's a few polls on there, so I'm trying to get an idea of what you guys would like to see for the project as well. So let's have a look at these interior items now with all that out of the way, and I think that this is going to really set off the interior of the 79 Series Landcruiser. Alrighty guys, so real quick, we've got the modifications going in today is this panel, this trim panel. So what it is it basically replaces the MDF board that's there, and all it does is rattle around, and this gets attached to it. So what it is, this is just a nice little filler piece basically between the seat and the side of the 79, and it provides an extra cup holder and also a nice little cubby to store some things. And that is from Department of the Interior. So as always, these are made so well. I've got a lot of their stuff in the 79, and I've been so happy with it so far. It gives me so much more storage. And I've also got these one stone armrests here as well. Again, all color matched gray, so it kind of keeps a classic look of the 79, which is exactly what I was going for. I must admit, I was a little bit disappointed to find out that these are made in China. I thought that these were an Australian company, but anyway, all good. I'll get these installed, and I am looking forward to having an armrest up on the driver's side at least, but I've got two of these. Up on the driver's side, because it gets a little bit tiring having your arm just on the metal of the 79. Just kind of makes your arm go a bit numb. So it's only a little lip there. So this will give me a little bit more arm, arm rest space, so I can rest my arm on there for the long trips. So I'm looking forward to getting that installed as well. So let's get it all in. Let me show you how to do it. It's going to be a good time. Let's get stuck into it. To get these Department of the Interior panels and pods into the 79, I started by first folding the rear seats forward and removing the factory flimsy MDF panel that covers up the mechanism for the seatbelt. It's surprising how much room is behind these seats. I think I might be getting a few ideas with how I can fill this space, but if you have any suggestions, let me know down in the comment section. I used a pry tool to remove the 5 black Christmas tree clips. The top 2 clips have a collar on the other side of the panel, which I ended up reusing in my new trim piece as they keep the clips in place when moving the panel around. I placed the remaining clips in the new trim piece and test fitted the new panel and pod to get an idea of where I would like to fix the pod to the panel. After folding the seats down to their original position to check for clearances, I folded the seats back up, checked my alignment of the pod to the panel, and began mounting them together. I did this by drilling through both pieces with a 3mm drill bit and using the supplied countersunk Tech screws to attach 4 screws to hold the pieces together. You can use more if you wish. I removed the backing of the double-sided tape and attached the panel and pod in the tested position. I was a bit careless when it came to one of my screws, as it came very close to puncturing the plastic storage cubby, so be sure to double check that the screws actually go into the wood. Something I didn't mention is that today's modifications are still in the theme of keeping the interior factory look by using the grey colour scheme. I like the look of the grey interior, and I feel as though these modifications, and the ones already done to the interior, build on Toyota's original ideas and design. Before I show you around the fully installed panels, can I get you to click the subscribe button and like the video? I really enjoy making these videos, but it does take a lot of time to make them, so it is a great way to support the channel, as it lets YouTube know that this is something that other like-minded people like yourself will want to watch too. Thank you for subscribing, and if you've been subscribed for a while, again, thank you very much, as I'm really looking forward to sharing with you all the installs, camping trips, and project builds that we are undertaking in 2024 and beyond. Now let's check out how these new storage pods and replacement panels turned out. Showing interior clips is really difficult, but I hope this gives you a bit of an idea of what we are looking at. As you can see, it fits really nice and flush there. I've got access to these levers here to move the seat forward and back, which is pretty good. And then we'll have a look around the other side. We will be also as well, guys, having a look at those armrests very shortly, and the extra storage that these interior pieces provide is so appreciated, honestly. I've got heaps of spots up here as well, my roof shelf. I've got my center console as well, so all these extra little spots is just, it's even actually more functional than what I had in my Hilux. So we'll come around the other side here now, and here you can see that's the other side. That's the driver's side here. So again, fits nicely. And if you guys are doing this mod yourself, just the kind of way that I looked at it and the way I lined it up was just putting my kind of vision right over the top of this cup holder, and it should sit between kind of the side bolstering of the seat and also this big screw that pops out here, big bolt. So you need to kind of line it somewhere between that bolt and and that seat cushioning there. But apart from that, pretty straightforward install. I recommend putting one screw in the little I guess attachment piece here before and into this kind of side panel, and then you can just take that screw out and then kind of readjust it as you go. I use masking tape, but that just kind of kept getting messed up every time I tried to move it. But I also tried cutting out the foam in there like they recommended out of the bottom of this the bottom of that carpet, but it didn't really change much. It made it sit a little bit lower, but it still fit about just as good as this side where I didn't cut out the foam. So I don't know, if you guys line it up a little bit differently, let me know if that actually works a bit differently for you guys. But for me, cutting out the foam actually didn't do too much. But apart from that, guys, super simple install. So now let's finally get to the armrest install now, which I'm really looking forward to. So to help you guys kind of understand why you need an armrest, it sounds a little bit silly, but it's understandable why you need to have storage and cup holders in the back, carrying people, children, whatever. There's no center armrest that pops down here, unlike the Hilux and the Prado. They have them, but in the 79, it's the reason why you want to have an armrest. I'm going to quickly explain it, is because this is actually a metal little section down here, and on long trips you rest your arm on there, and it's it kind of has a steep drop off there. So you rest your arm on here, and again, this is something not a lot of people know, is a 79, unless you own one of course, is a 79 or a driven one. The 79 is actually a very narrow interior vehicle. So to have your arm, and you sit quite high up too, to have your arm resting on here, it's actually a very ergonomical way to drive long distances in a straight line. So to rest your arm on here for a short period of time is okay, but it actually kind of hurts after you get out of driving the car for a few hours, because you've had your arm resting on this steep drop off here on the edge of that metal. Now, other vehicles like Hiluxes and Prados and most other passenger vehicles and car-like vehicles, they actually have a nice plastic cowling that you can, if you wish to, rest your arm, but it ends up being quite high. So for me, this is going to be a great modification, because it means I can rest my arm here without having to rest it on the metal. And that's another thing as well, that is metal there, that's painted metal right there. So people who have, say, darker colored vehicles like your Merlot red 79s, that can get a bit hot. Okay, so I have heard people saying that they just don't even put their arms on there because it's just so hot. So this extra, this nice little armrest that's going to pop on over here, I think is going to be a great addition to the vehicle. I just want to explain that because, you know, a lot of people might, you know, look at me like, why are you getting an armrest? You know, can't you just rest your arm there? So that's why. So let's see how these armrests pop in, and hopefully it's a quick job. So let's see how it looks. The one-stone armrests are well packaged in their boxes, and the instructions were very clear with pictures included. These armrests will be installed and held in place with a long clip that sits over the edge near the windowsill and 2 magnets to hold it in place. I like that the magnets have rubber over them to prevent them from damaging the painted interior. Fitting these were easy, as all you have to do is line up the armrest 30mm from the door lock and place the supplied clear vinyl patches where the edges of the armrest sit on the door sill. I used a bit of tape to identify where I'll place the ends of the vinyl. I didn't see the point in putting the vinyl too far down towards the end of the doors as the pictures suggested. as the the armrest would never go down that far anyway, and you can still see the patches even though they are clear. For a cleaner look, I set the patches down with about 10mm overhang past the end of the armrest. Given the price of these armrests, I thought that the ends of this product could have been finished a bit better, as the plastic was finished with quite a harsh edge on the ends, which I guess is why the protective patches were added to the kit. If the armrest was finished with a bit more thought, I don't think that those patches would be needed. With them now installed, I'll share with you my initial impressions of the new armrest, followed by a complete tour of the finished interior. Alright guys, let's see how these armrests feel. And oh yes, very much. I like it. And it also gives you a little bit more clearance. I didn't notice that actually over the lock there. So that is going to greatly enhance my driving experience. And look at that, another cup holder. You beauty, for all those people out there that measure vehicles via how many cup holders they have. I think that is another great bonus. And oh yeah, a little bit of clearance there too. Very easy to install these things. I got to give them that. There's a little bit of funny clearances going on just with the way that the end, I'll put that up on the screen now, just with the way that the way it contours to the door and kind of like the rubber trimmings around it. You're never going to get it perfect, but I think that they probably could have put maybe like a little rubber, like a pinch weld around it. I think just would have made it a little bit nicer. Then you probably wouldn't even need to put that protective strip. Just looks like that was a bit of an afterthought after people maybe complaining about it wearing away the paint. So I don't know, kind of feel like that maybe a little bit of pinch weld would have been a better option there. But hey, let me now show you guys around. Now that the interior is pretty much complete, let me show you around the interior, and let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. I think it's turned out really cool. So I'm going to turn the camera around now and let me show you the final product. Let's do it. Now you have to excuse me, the Landcruiser is a little bit dirty. I've been getting out and using it heaps, but let me just open up here and listen to this. Oh, I love the way that door handle sounds. All right, so straight away we've got our brand new one-stone armrest. Love the look of these. Gives you as well a cup holder, or you can store whatever UHF or anything that you like in there as well. Just extra storage, guys. That's what it's all about. Down here I've got my audio install. So if you haven't seen me install this, then make sure you go ahead and have a look at that video. I'll leave a card for it at the end of this video here. Just installed some kicker speakers just from the local auto parts store. And then it's got a nice big pocket here for maps or whatever. Just got my windshield cover in there just to keep the heat out, because I don't yet have any tinting, and that will be coming very soon. You can see I did a custom wiring job going into the cab of the Workmate, because this is a Workmate, don't forget. So it's not just simple plug and play kits that you can buy for these. Has to be a bit of a custom job. So I did that. Again, if you want to look at that video, you can see that. Now I've got a roof shelf here. So Dad gave me a hand installing that. So again, that was another video where we installed that, and also the center console. So if you haven't seen those videos as well, make sure you check it out to see how I installed it. And they provide, I go in a bit more detail about it in those videos, but geez, just seeing how much you can store up here. It's just so handy. Things like, your hygiene wipes, wipes or whatever it is. When you guys are camping, you store all your snacks and stuff up there on those long trips, guys. It's just so handy. Doesn't impede with any of the 2023 smart whatever collision sensors. So it's, you know, it's all made very, very well. That department interior stuff is great. That's all department interior there. The center console and the roof console and those ones we installed today, they're so handy. I've also got the Scan Gauge 3 in there as well, in case you guys haven't seen that as well in the past. And I've got this nice big center console space in here, huge cubby. It's super deep, can't even touch the bottom of it when I'm standing outside of the car. So thing's huge. I'll probably end up maybe putting my UHF or something in there, something, you know, so I have a little bit of an extension going from maybe here into the dashboard. I'll see how I go, but there's just so much room in there. Gives you those options. You can see on the other side there the other one stone armrest, and I've also as well got the other matching door pod as well. So exactly the same, lots of storage for both the driver and for the passenger. So that's a bit of a look at the door there. It looks pretty well equipped now. It was looking pretty bare when I first started with this. Now you can see that I didn't shut that door very properly because I gave that a pretty good shut, but the seals in this thing is unreal. I don't think it's going to be letting in too much dust or too much water either, which is pretty cool. And in the back here, super simple. All I've got is just a little bit of extra storage now for the rear passengers, so at least they have a cup holder, and they've also got a little cubby to store their phone and other belongings as well. So that kind of concludes my little interior walk around for what we have done so far. So in case you can't tell, guys, I am super excited about how the Land Cruiser turned out. You know, all these extra little modifications that when you're driving around, you're like, oh, you know what, I would love an armrest. I would love a little bit extra storage. I would like a little bit of roof storage, all these little things. And it's all coming together. And, you know, it's, as you can tell, I'm sure, I'm super excited about the car, but also just about doing these little modifications. That's what I love doing, just being able to get in and do it myself. The stuff isn't too hard to do, of course. I'm not mechanically minded at all, but yeah, it's just a good time. I love tinkering. And I like showing you guys little projects that I've been doing, little projects I've been working on as well. So guys, with that all said and done, I'm loving the interior of how this has turned out. It's a very comfortable place to be, and now it's a great spot for my passengers to be as well. So with all that said and done, guys, I'm going to leave the video there. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. See you then.